first violins for Vivaldi. I'm going to show you a few things that might make this a whole lot more fun to play. And essentially this is not really that hard because a lot of it's pretty repetitive. So the hardest thing is not really the part. The hardest thing that there are 4 violin parts going on simultaneously, and each one of those 4 is split with a soloist and then tutti. So the most important thing is to really concentrate and be able to come in when you need to come in. But first let's talk about the fun stuff, which is the stroke, which is just so fun. We're going to use like a smiley face kind of stroke, so it's wah, and that's what makes the sound really, really soar. So see, I'm going in and out, like so. This is like the beginning of the smiley face. I'm in, and then I bring it back out like that, and that lets it ring. Okay, so what's really important also is when you have a rest to really stop, because that's where the violin then just rings. So here we're going to continue that stroke. So remember, when you have quarter notes, you use a lot of bow. The 8th note's half as much. Here, just, that's all you need. And then here, a lot less bow, because 16th note. Okay, so on these repeated, do you see how I'm going like back and forth like this? So as if I were going to play here on the bout of the violin, on my down bow, and then on, and that just gives a really bouncy, really nice sound. Try it. It's not very hard, and it just makes it sound really good. All right. We're only playing the tutti passages, right? The solo part is in here. So I just went ahead and I highlighted all of the tutti passages. And then when the tutti passage like bumps up against a solo part, I just put a huge double bar so I don't play into the solo part. So you might like to do that. Just takes all the guessing out of it. All right. Now this is fun. The next tutti at measure 12 starts the same way, right? Stop. Stop. All right. So this figure of we've heard before, right? That's sort of that nice scoopy thing. What I like to do here in measure 13, now watch my bow. This is what we call the capé bowing. So I'm going up, a very short down, and another longer up. So I'm climbing so I can go here. So we're climbing a ta 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 tira ta 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 tira ta, as if this were just one up bow. That's the gesture, but we're doing that with a back and forth. Do you see that? And that's makes it just, again, it just gives it a direction to go. So you can practice that. So now in the next tutti, we have this passage. Okay? Now, so it's really basically 3 things, right? It's this and then again, it's just like the same pattern, and that's so Vivaldi. He just tears it. Same thing, repeating. All right, so this is what we have to practice. What is the bow doing first so that it sounds good? So let's say we have 2 notes on the E string and then 1 on the A string in this whole series. So let's just practice that. E, 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 A, E, 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 A, E, E. That's the pattern. And I'm realizing, okay, every time I go to the A, it's a down bow. Down, 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 down. So practicing that, so it's like, okay, no, I totally get it. I don't need to scramble. It's just one gesture that goes down, down. Easy. Easy. And if those... Okay, so we want this to be really well in tune, right? So we do that by putting our fingers down together and listening to them together. So for the first one, I'm going to put my first finger down first, and then make sure that's in two. So, and then every time I put a finger down, I play it with the other notes. So now I leave that down. And how do you know? You have to keep moving your bow. Even if it's out of tune, keep moving your bow. And just slide your finger to the right place. If you're not moving your bow, then you'll never know if it's in tune. So that's the first thing. That's what I would practice to get that first one in tune. Okay, just double stops. Now the next one, this is a little easier. So here I play the A with an open A, and then add the C sharp. Noticing that those two are close together. That's all you have to do there. The next one that goes, this I'm going to put my first finger B and my second finger G down together. There we go. We want that to be really well in tune first. And then we add the third finger D, okay? So getting that really solid. So when I'm playing that passage, I'm already just planting those first two fingers. And then I take that same configuration, this sixth, down a half step for the next one. Okay, and that's probably the hardest because it's in half position. You're like, how do I do that? But if you realize it's just exactly the same thing as you did in first position, taking it down half a step. Just slide it down. Then it's a lot easier. So don't put the bow with the fancy bowing and the fingers together until it's really clean separately that way. And then you'll 8 notes, but it's not. It's yum bum bum, dum bim bum, dum bim bum. And so in that we want to do, this has more space. Short, short, long, short, stop. Short. Okay, and the bowing for that, if you want to practice it separately, is just stop in the middle. Stop in the middle. Stop. See, and that just flows really well. All right, and then we have more of the same. I like to put one little vibrato. Okay, and what I'm doing, I'm releasing my first finger just a little bit so I can throw all the weight of my hand into the fourth. And oops, I wasn't looking and I played the first note of the solo part. It's not a tragedy because it's the same note, but as ideally, and stop. All right. All right, so here, while the solo is doing its thing, plant your first finger here on the A, okay? So you're ready for, and then just do 1, 2, A, B, C sharp. Sorry, I was a little too high. Plant your finger on the A, and then okay, you want to make sure that this A is the same A that you're playing with your third finger. So practice that shift. And what I'm doing, why? Because that's the next note I'm going to be playing. So shift, same bowing. And again, we've done this before. 1 trill. Okay? You want it to be crisp. So you want to do the trill, if it can just be one or maximum two, but then stop the trill so that we have, or else we have, it's just too much. Because at the end of the trill, we will still want to hear the F sharp. And you know what? That's about it. That's about it. The rest is really the same. These tuttis, okay, it looks so easy. These tied half notes, so we're on page 2. Can't read the bar number, but, okay, so the tendency would be to just rush through them, but you have to taka, 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 3, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and beautiful sound. And then stop, because it's a solo, okay? And then the end is the end, and you've already played all of that. The only thing I want to show you is at the very end, measure 100 after 100. So those little marks on there, those aren't fingerings, okay? So, okay, those are just accents, type of marks. Now here you have to change a string. So you want to be really close to those strings. So it's really easy to be able to do that. Remember when you're playing this, the A string, it's down bow. And when you go over the D, it's up bow. It's nice to know that. So you can practice going up. Right? Confusing your mind a little bit so that it becomes easier. And then fourth finger. Slow bow, because there is a fermata on that. That's it. This is going to be really dynamic, energetic, really fun if you're able to do those da dim bum, so that every little figure is going somewhere. It's a gesture. So I think you can totally do this, and I'm looking forward to hearing it at camp. If you have any questions in the meantime, let me know. Okay, I'm going to check in with you and see how your parts are going. The next thing you're going to do is practice this, and then you're going to record it with a metronome and send it to me. And I'm going to hear it. I might give you some comments back, and then you'll be really ready for camp. All right, thanks you guys. I'll see ya.